Have you ever wondered how extremely wealthy people live? Of course, we all do. Russian billionaire Alexey Mordashov is just one of those extremely wealthy people everyone's interested in. So allow us to give you the scoop on the Russian making all the cake, bread and honey you could think of. And believe us when we say, Mr. Mordashov has a sweet tooth for the green stuff. Now, we're just making you hungry, right? In today's video, we'll unravel all about the inside life of the Russian billionaire. So get ready because you're in for a ride. Let's proceed. Alexey Alexandrovich Mordashov, born on the 26th of December 1965, is a Russian businessman and billionaire. With a whopping net worth of $29.1 billion, he's the chairman and main shareholder of Severstal, a Russian company that has interests in energy, metal and mining companies. He's ranked by Forbes as the wealthiest among Russian billionaires. Talk about a big dog in the money game. Moving on to his early life, Mordashov was born into a hard-working family to parents who were both steel mill workers in Cherpovets, a polluted industrial town near Moscow. However, they weren't really wealthy as his family used welfare coupons which only allowed 400 grams of sausages and 200 grams of butter per month. But that didn't stop Alexey Mordashov from striving to be better than his past. Young Mordashov later went to college and graduated with a bachelor's degree from Leningrad Engineering Economical Institute, now known as Engicon. And more recently, Alexey earned an MBA in 2021 from Northumbria University in Newcastle, England. He's an educated man. He later spoke about why he chose to study in Leningrad rather than Moscow, and the role it played in search for a job, and a career path in an address to the students of the European University in St. Petersburg. Young Mordashov later returned to Cherpovets and began his career by joining the Shepovetsky metallurgical plant, where his parents had worked in 1988. By 1992, Alexey had become finance director. When the elderly director of the steel plant asked him to acquire shares in order to keep them away from the reach of an outsider, Mordashov formed two investment funds and built a major stake in the plant by buying workers' shares. He was later appointed as CEO of the company in 1996 and then went on to establish a company, Severstal, acquiring interests in coal, steel and mining companies. The dedication of this man. Severstal is one of Russia's largest producers of coking coal and is the largest steel company in Russia. The company is also listed on the Moscow Exchange and LSE and is a supplier of steel pipes. The products made by the company are for the automotive, machinery, construction and oil and gas companies. With a workforce of over 50,000 employees, the Russian company is active in Italy, Poland, Liberia, Latvia, Ukraine and of course Russia. Going on, Mordashov became a co-owner of Richest Bank in 2003, and in 2004 Mordashov had investments in steel companies in the US. From 2004 to 2014, Severstal and Alexey Mordashov had investments up to $3 billion in Dearborn and Columbus plants in the US. By 2013, he was the fifth largest shareholder in Richest Bank, owning 6% of the bank's shares, and by 2014, all US investments in Severstal had been sold for $2.3 billion. A round of applause for the man for the job. However, Mordashov stepped down as CEO in 2015, appointing Vadim Larin, former COO, in his place. That same year, Mordashov focused his investment from the US to Russia after his close friend, old boy Putin, gave him some strong advice about avoiding unwise investments. Later in 2018, Severstal earned revenue of a whopping $7 billion. But don't think he's going around spending all this money on himself, because King Lex here is also a philanthropist and donates over $50 million to charitable causes every year through Severstal. If you thought we forgot about the controversies King Lex has had in his personal life, you stand corrected. Alexey and his first wife Elena divorced in 1996. They have a son together, Ilya, who we barely hear of anymore, and back in 2001, it was revealed that Mordashov was only paying $620 a month to his ex-wife and son, after Elena wrote an open letter titled Letter to All Women, in which she stated that her husband, Alexey, had infringed on the marital rights of her and Ilya, their son. After that, she tried to seize Alexey's right to his share in his property and demanded more. However, everything took a downslope for her as her apartment in Moscow was taken and her lawsuit was denied by the courts. Ouch. He married his second wife, also Elena, in 2001 and had 2 more sons. And you're not the only one wondering if Big Lex has a thing for Elenas. The KN Holding Company was created in 2018 for Kirill and Nikita, his sons, to which Alexey transferred the Norgold and TUI shares. This way, King Lex hoped to teach his sons about business and transfer some expertise. But Nikita lost his share in 2021. 20-year-old Nikita was expelled from the prestigious Higher School of Economics in Moscow, where he was enrolled with the London School of Economics on a joint program, and later sent down to the military. Nikita happened to be one of the worst students on the course. Military service is compulsory for men under 27 in Russia, unless they're in bad health or in higher education. Although corruption has affected this largely as Russians buy their way out of conscription, but not for Mr. Mordashov. It might not seem quite remarkable anywhere else, but in Russia it's a big deal because rich parents use their money and influence to make things easy for their kids. Nikita's share in KN Holding was worth $500 million, but due to his shortcomings, the company is solely owned by his 21-year-old brother Kirill. It's just sad. Alexey Mordashov might be different from the usual Russian oligarchs we know, but that doesn't mean he's left out from some international controversies like the EU sanctioning Mr. Mordashov along with 20 other Russian politicians, businessmen, journalists and top managers who are close to the Russian President Vladimir Putin. This is as a result of Putin ordering nuclear weapons on Ukraine and thereby throwing the world into global outrage and instilling the fear of a possible World War III in February 2022. Mordashov, coming to his defense in a statement, said he didn't understand how being sanctioned by the EU would aid in resolving the war in Ukraine. In his words, "I have absolutely nothing to do with the emergence of the current geopolitical tension. And if we're being honest, including these Russians on the sanction list isn't going to stop old boy Putin from trying to take over Ukraine." Alexey Mordashov described himself as not being involved in politics, and even called for an end to Russia's shenanigans in Ukraine, which he called a tragedy of two fraternal peoples. Severstal later announced that it was ceasing deliveries in Europe due to the EU sanctions on Mr. Mordashov, according to Moscow Times. Severstal, which delivers about 2.5 million tons of steel per year to Europe, told the Moscow Times, "We are directing the flows of raw materials to alternative world markets." The EU also said that Sever Group, which Mordashov also happens to be the chairman of, controls television stations that he'll be promoting in Moscow's plans of destabilizing Ukraine. Moving over to King Lex's properties, prepare to be amazed because we don't call him King Lex for anything. As we know now, the Russian billionaire is quite different from his fellow Russian oligarchs, and this is also reflected in his simple way of life. Alexey is one of the few Russians who have reached the Big B and do not own a large house in Paris or Florida. He lives with his wife, second Elena, in Barvika, a wealthy suburb in Moscow where most Russian billionaires reside. Mordashov is a simple man, but just like other billionaires, he owns a private jet and 2 yachts. The first yacht is called Yacht Nord. The 466-foot super yacht Nord, formerly known as Project Opus, was built and launched by Lursen. Her interior and exterior was designed by Novlori and Leonard and is powered by MTU engines and has a max speed of 20 knots. The Yacht Nord can take more than 24 guests and over 40 crew members. The Yacht Nord is just one of the jewels on King Lex's expensive crown. The second yacht, called the Yacht Lady M, is the very first yacht in the PGA 210 Sports Yacht Series and is powered by 2 MTU 16-volt 4000 engines. It's impressive. The Yacht Lady M is said to be named after Alexey's second wife, Marina Mordashov, who's also known as Elena. The Yacht Lady M reaches a top speed of 28 knots and a cruising speed of 16 knots. The Lady M is also designed by Novlori and Leonard. She is a powerful Jaguar that can take 12 guests and 14 crew members. The Yacht Lady M's luxury interior design was also done by Novlori and Leonard, a gem just like his wife. Lastly on King Lex's crown is the gem that is the Bombardier Global 6000 Private. This beauty is just as powerful as her name. The jet was delivered in 2012 and has registration MYSSF. The Bombardier Global 6000 is worth a whopping $60 million. It might not be the most expensive private jet, but this baby is gold. King Lex also owned a Bombardier Global Express with the same registration. which was a large cabin, ultra long range business jet. Holy freaking moly, this man's got money. The life of Alexey Mordashov might not be as busy and extravagant as most oligarchs, nor as controversial as most Russian billionaires, but we promise you that it is one solid topic. Well, that's all for today's video. How interesting is the life of Alexey Mordashov? And what would you invest if you were as rich as he is? Let us know in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. See you in the next video.